Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Is this working? Is this working? Testing. Well, uh, this is a great group. I can tell this is a group of readers here. Is everybody here readers? Everybody likes to read? You know, we've got some great readers in our family. And so we are going to start things off with a rendition by Malia and Sasha of one of my classic favorite books of all time called Where the Wild Things Are. Anybody familiar with that? It is a great book. So Malia and Sasha are going to start things off, and then the First Lady and I are going to do a rendition of a classic that we used to read to Malia and Sasha when they were tiny called Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. All right, so Malia, Sasha, do you feel, have you cleared your throats?
I think we're ready, yeah.
Okay, and you got to make sure that that lav is close by
Yeah.
so everybody can read you. All right,
Okay.
Malia and Sasha with Where the Wild Things Are.
Okay. Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good.
Okay. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made his mischief of one of a kind.
And another.
And his mother called him Wild Thing. And Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything.
Stop.
That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew.
And grew.
And grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around him.
And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day.
And in and out of the weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are.
And when he came out to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth.
And rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws.
Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick
Of staring into all of their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all.
and made him king of all wild things.
And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. So here they are in their wild rumpus, doing their wild rumpus thing, swinging from the vines, you know. Okay, so we have a few pictures. Can somebody see the pictures? You're wild. Wild rumpus. Okay, go ahead.
And now stop, Max said, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be somewhere where someone loved him best of all.
Then, all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are.
But the wild things cried, "Oh, please, don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No."
The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye.
And sailed back over a year, and in and out of the weeks, and through a day.
And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him.
And it was still hot.
The end.
Yay! What do you think? Outstanding.
All right, we got to top that.
All right,
We're not as organized. Who's holding the book?
I'm going to hold the book.
All right, you got to show the pictures too.
All right.
Bo, sit. Good.
Bo's got to sit.
Down. Good job.
All right. So this book is called Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. And we used to read this to Malia and Sasha when they still fit on our laps. They don't anymore.
You want to hold your...
Okay, here we go. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. A told B and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree.
No, you skipped a page.
Oh.
We said D to EFG, I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree.
Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Will there be enough room? Here comes H up the coconut tree.
And I and J and Tagalong K all on their way up the coconut tree.
Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Will there be enough room? Look who's coming. LMNOP.
And QRS,
and TUV. It's getting crowded up here.
still more W and X, Y, and Z.
The whole alphabet up the... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Chicka, yeah, I know. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom.
Oh, skit, scat, scoodle doot, flip, flop, flee. Everybody's running to the coconut tree. Mamas and papas and uncles and aunts hugging their little dears, then dust their pants.
Help us up, cried ABC.
Next from the pile up, skinny D and stub toe E and patched up F. Then comes G all out of breath.
H is tangled up with I, and J and K are about to cry. L is knotted like a tie.
M is looped, N is stooped, O is twisted alley-oop. Skit, scat, scattle doot, flip, flop, flee.
Look who's coming. It's Black Eye P.
See,
It's Black Eye. It's got a
Everybody
black
see
eye.
black eye?
P's got a black eye.
He's got a black eye.
QRS and Loose Tooth T.
Then U, V, W, wiggle, jiggle, free.
Last to come XYZ, and the sun goes down on the coconut tree.
But, chicka, chicka, boom, boom, look, there's a full moon.
A is out of bed, and this is what he said. Dare, double dare, you can't catch me. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree.
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom.
The end.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We are going to be having readers here all through the day, and I hope everybody just has a great time while you're here. Not just reading, but I also want everybody out there moving. You guys can try the obstacle course. I want you to see if you can do some yoga. Double Dutch. We got some double Dutch champions here. All right, so I hope everybody has a wonderful time and a wonderful Easter. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.